Welcome to JazzTime.com. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. We offer these watches at the lowest possible price anywhere online, so if you're interested in knowing the price of the watch, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate it if you will buy a watch from JazzTime.com once in a while. Today we'll be reviewing the Rolex Datejust 31. This is the model number 278384 RBR. While most people don't tend to remember the model numbers or reference number, like I said before, we have links to this watch in the description below. We'll be covering the dial, bezel, case, crown, bracelet, clasp, and we'll talk about the movement towards the end of the video. So jumping right into the dial here, you can see a very beautiful green dial. This is specifically called the mint green dial. You can see it's a very beautiful subtle shade of green, so it sort of comes out much darker than your typical Rolex green dials. If you're looking for an example, such things as the Submariner Hulk, or even the newly released palm motif dials, or even a day-date green malachite dial. Those dials, usually when Rolex puts a green dial on, it's a very saturated color of green. It's more for casual wear rather than formal wear, because it's hard to sort of pair a very heavy green watch. But looking at this watch, as this is a Datejust 31, this is more for ladies. It's a very subtle shade of green that looks very, very elegant. Will fit with formal wear, and sits on the wrist very nicely. As you can see, it is a sunburst style dial. As I tilt it against the light, against the light in the light box here, you can see that it sort of dances around the dial. We have the typical sort of structure of a sunburst dial, where you have sort of a fanning of the light, and you can see the fanning of the light and also the fanning of the contrasting shadows as well. And it's actually a very neat and elegant thing to have, because because it doesn't wash out the dial if there's too much light on it directly, and those contrasting shadows actually help bring out the coloration of the dial itself. As you can see, multifaceted coloration looks much better than just a flat coloration, right? All right. So besides that, this is a typical Datejust structure in terms of the dial face. We have the Rolex crown logo at the 12 o'clock position, made entirely out of 18 karat white gold. We have index hour markers for this specific watch, with a date window at the 3 o'clock position, Cyclops lens on top of that sapphire crystal. You can see it protrudes just very gently above the crystal, and that's for magnification, easier viewing of that date. At the 12 o'clock position, right underneath the crown, we have the Rolex name in white text with the Oyster Perpetual Datejust name right beneath that. And at the 6 o'clock position, as with most Rolex watches, we have the Superlative Chronometer officially certified text in the white as well, to contrast against that dark green background. Just letting you know that this watch is within Swiss specs, which is +2 -2 seconds a day, with perfect winding. Alright, for the index hour markers, they are fashioned 18 karat white gold, but one thing to notice is that you do see a sort of white filler in each index hour markers, from the 1 to the 2, from the 4 to the 11, and on the hour and minute hand as well. The reason for that is because those hour markers are luminous, meaning that they have a highly legible chromolite display with a long-lasting blue luminescence. You expect this watch to sort of glow in the dark for up to 8 hours, so you have easy readability at night as well. So let's just say you're partying through the evening, your watch is catching some of that residual light. Then when it gets darker and darker out, you need to check the time. Well, you can do that. So let me show you how that looks with my light box off there. You can see very easily how beautiful that blue luminosity would look. So during the evening and at the night, it makes it still very easy to read without having, if you have Roman numerals aren't, for the Rolex series anyways, aren't luminous, so you wouldn't be able to read this watch at night. But you can see this is very easy to read. You can easily tell the time. All right, so let me go ahead and turn the light back on here. Sorry for the bright light. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the bezel now. So what makes this one particularly special is we have the complete factory diamond bezel. You can see very beautiful diamonds all around. I believe it's around 48 diamonds or so. 48 diamonds or so, all the way set around the bezel. The bezel itself is not set in steel. It is a 18 karat white gold bezel as well. All right, and it makes this watch really elegant and not gaudy at all to have these diamonds around the face of the watch, because you have that sunbursting feature from the dial, which captures light very nicely, but it doesn't quite have that glimmer to it that the diamond bezel provides very well with that. As it catches the light, you see it sort of dances the light around and makes the face a really nice centerpiece to look at overall. So you have the beautiful dancing of lights from the outer edge of the dial, and then coming in with the beautiful contrasting of that mint and green in the center of the dial. And I did forget to mention, for the mint green, if you don't like this coloration, it's a Datejust watch. You have multiple options to choose from. You can go with something newly released, such as the floral patternation that Rolex has done in the past, has now updated in 2022 to have sort of a various floral patterning throughout the back, where you have flowers and diamonds as well. But if not, you can go with, you know, the standard colorations of white, black, and silver. If not, go something a little more elegant with a blue or a pink, or even mother of pearl if you're feeling really fancy. But you have multiple options for this Rolex Rolex Datejust 31s. Moving on to the case now, we have a nice stainless steel case. We have high polishing on the lugs, as this is a dress watch rather than a sports watch. So we have a nice high polish that complements it very beautifully. From the side profile of the case, you can see the high polish on the side of the case, matching with the side polish on the bracelet as well. On the other side, this is where the crown is located. You can see the Rolex crown logo there. And then also the high polish on the sides as well. All right, as I mentioned, this is a Rolex Datejust 31. As the name states, it's a 31mm watch. So from an index finger to my thumb here, 31mm in diameter. All right, now let me actually show you how this watch works by the crown functions. So we're going to move on to the crown functions now. While the crown is tight in against the case, and I mean tight in against the case and screwed all the way to this final position and with no wiggle at all, you're looking at a water resistance of 100 meters or 330 feet. We're going to unwind the crown counterclockwise as shown, okay, which will pop the crown out to the standard position. The standard position is located here. You can wind the watch about 15 to 20 clockwise turns is all you need to get the watch started once more. From a dead stop, as you can see, the second hand is ticking around now. It's about to come over the date window and going through. There it is. Pulling the crown out to the next position will allow you to adjust the date just by going counterclockwise. Very simple, very easy to use. And pulling the crown out to the final position will allow you to set the time and also stop the second hand at the same time. And I'm going to go ahead and stop it at that 7 o'clock position. You can see it's stopped there, and I can adjust the hands bidirectionally however I like. And stopping the second hand is important, because once you click that crown back in, you'll start that second hand once more. So that allows for precise time settings, such as to an atomic clock online. So always make sure screw to the crown nice and tight in against the case, as you want to keep that watch water resistant, as I mentioned, 100 meters or 330 feet. Moving on to the bracelet now. So bracelet is a Jubilee style bracelet, which is a beautiful style bracelet. You can see it's a 5-piece link bracelet, high polished on the center 3 links, sand finish on the outer of the 5 links. And then you can see it's a concealed folding crown clasp that doesn't break that pattern of that Jubilee. As we continue through, you can see very beautiful pattern that keeps throughout. Of course, minor tapering from the case down back, just very minor, but it's one thing that helps keep this watch in proportion from a fully worn view. As you can see, nice and in proportion with those tapered links all the way back to that sort of standard sizing towards the back of the case, or rather back of the bracelet. Concealed folding crown clasp is a specific thing that most people is something that most people really like. Rolex has sort of moved away from their previous watches where they use a oyster clasp now. So concealed folding crown clasp is a big plus to some people out there. But I mean, it really is up to preference, what you like. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. And this is why it's called the concealed folding crown clasp, because it hides the beautifully high polished clasp with the Rolex name embossed onto the high polish there. And then once again, I'll close that up, and that's how it looks closed up. You can see the clasp is hidden behind the bracelet itself. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the movement. The movement, of course, is housed in this in this case backing, which has the sort of high plush around the outer edge, is raised up just a little bit to sit off the wrist for more breathability. And of course we have the satin finish at the back of the case as well. With Rolex, you know you're getting a quality movement. Specifically for this one, it is a perpetual mechanical self-winding movement. As I've shown you with the crown functions, you can wind the watch. Perpetual meaning that it will be powered by your natural hand movement. So as you're walking around, there's an oscillator that spins around in the back of the in the movement itself that keeps this watch wound as long as it's on your wrist. Okay, so the movement specifically is the Rolex's caliber 2236 in-house made movement. Precision of -2 + 2 seconds a day, as I mentioned, with the text at the 6 o'clock position that has a superlative chronometer officially certified there. It has the functions of the center hour, minute, and second hand, instantaneous changing of the date with rapid setting, and stopping the second hand for precise time setting, as I've shown you with the crown functions, where I've changed the date and it was able to stop the second hand there. The oscillator, as I mentioned, is it's a sort of half moon crescent shape that spins around the back of the movement that keeps this watch wound. It is set with a Siloxy hairspring, which is a silicone hairspring, which prevents the watch from getting magnetized, along with Paraflex shock absorbers, which are in-house made shock absorbers from Rolex that they added in, I believe, a few years ago before they moved away from the KIF shock absorbers, which is the sort of industry standard. So Rolex has decided to use their own in-house made shock absorbers, which they claim absorbs 50% more shocks than those KIF shock absorbers. The power reserve of this watch is probably the most important part for the normal consumer. You're looking at a power reserve of 55 hours. And what do I mean by power reserve of 55 hours? So as this watch is powered by your natural hand movements, and if you wind the watch, you know, to the absolute maximum, which I said is about 15 to 20 clockwise winds of the crown itself, and that's in that first position, that means you can leave your watch down. You can leave your watch down on the table, and it will just keep time as for those 55 hours. Of course, once those 55 hours are up, the watch will stop and you'll have to rewind the watch, or simply just pick it back up during the time it has that power reserve. So let's just say you put it down on Friday evening, you can still pick it back up probably within probably like a Sunday evening, and it'll still be keeping time, and you can once again power it with your natural hand movements, or just wind it yourself. Or if you don't like any of those options, just buy yourself a watch winder and it'll keep it wound all the time. Okay, so I would like to try this watch on my wrist, but this is meant more for ladies, so I don't want to choke my wrist out here, but I do want to show you how it looks on the wrist. Okay, as you can see, it's a very beautiful watch. It looks obviously very small on my wrist, as I am a man, and you can see it doesn't sit too high off the wrist, so it will fit under those suit cuffs, dress cuffs, whatever cuffs. It will fit under there, and you can keep it hidden if you want to keep it hidden, or you can just simply wear a short sleeve, and you can actually show how beautiful this watch is. As maybe like as you're walking around the beach or something, catch the light very nicely as you're driving or whatnot. But you can see very beautiful Jubilee style bracelet. That Jubilee style bracelet having that concealed folding crown clasp, I personally like, as it doesn't break the patternation all throughout. But you can see very beautiful green dial. It's like, as I said, it's kind of understated, a little subtle on the green tone compared to most Rolex pieces that have a very saturated green. So it looks a lot more elegant, especially with the set of diamonds all around the bezel. So if you're interested in this watch or any other watch for the lowest possible price, check out our website, jazztime.com, where the lowest price is guaranteed. And if you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe below. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys soon.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page, where you can find all the videos. And If you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.